The red Hare series in Li-Ning's lineup is roughly equivalent to Nike Pegasus series. It's a daily trainer. Starting from the 5th generation, it branched into a standard version and a pro version. Unexpectedly, now, with the 9th generation, there is also an ultra version. So today, let's talk about the ultra version with the all-new capsule form. Is it still a daily trainer, or how should we classify it? I started this channel to review Chinese running products. More importantly, it's my way of forcing myself to practice spoken English. I'm self-sponsored and money doesn't grow on trees. Whether good or bad, I'm going to give you my honest review without filtering. Let's dive in from the specs. Li-Ning still hasn't listed any official data. From piecing together available info, I estimate it's about 43.5 mm in the heel and 35.5 mm in the forefoot, giving an 8 mm drop. Underfoot, the back of the midsole foam compresses easily, feels more like a 6 mm drop shoe. I can definitely sense it's a really tall stack shoe, like some race illegal shoes. The midsole has 4 components, from top to bottom. There is super bone foam, a foam that feels almost identical in density and softness to the upper midsole foam of the Li-Ning 5 Challenger. Next is the Super Boom capsule in silver, an innovative component fully wrapped foam in an elastic film, with a 95% energy return rate. I explained this in detail in my Fade 6 Elite video. Highly recommend checking it out to understand why it gives me some unique sensations during the ride. Under the capsule is bone foam, a beaded foam almost identical to the lower layer of the 5 Challenger. There is also a torsion plate between the super bone foam and the silver capsule. I found a clip on social media that shows the full midsole structure clearly. We can roughly say the red Hare 9 Ultra midsole is almost like taking the Fade 5 Challenger midsole and removing the carbon plate, replacing it with the capsule. This big boy is lighter than I expected. My size 45 weighs 270 grams, while my red Hare 8 Pro weighs 262 grams. With such a high stack, I was pleasantly surprised that the weight is manageable. It fits true to size. For reference, I usually wear 45 in Chinese brands and 46 in Hoka and New Balance. After the basics, let's take a look at the details. The upper is officially called bone fiber, widely used across many Li-Ning products. Simply put, it's a high-performance monofilament mesh made by pressing PBA material into microfibers and weaving them. Many brands now use this type of upper, some TPU pressed, some TPE pressed, with each brand giving it a different name. The upper on the red Hare 9 Ultra is single-layered and dense. My city is about 6 degrees Celsius during the day. You know, I'm definitely not complaining about its breathability. The tongue is gusseted, but nice and breathable. The padding around the heel is comfortable without being bulky, and we do have a pretty rigid heel counter. Overall, it's a comfy upper, but the volume not high or not a full-shaped toe box. So runners who prefer space up front may want to keep that in mind. There's a tiger tally on the right foot. In Chinese culture, the tiger is seen as the king of the beasts, and is sometimes used to symbolize a key to unlocking some kind of power. The outsole is covered in GCU rubber, a type of CPU outsole. This is the first time the red Hare series uses GCU. Li-Ning outsoles are typically categorized as GCU or GCR, with GCU being the higher grade and more durable. You can see optimized tread patterns in main landing areas. I've clocked close to 70 kilometers on it, and the durability is pretty good. That out of the way, let's talk about the pros and cons of actually running in it. Over the past week, I've done a wide range of runs, from easy recovery runs up to my 5K pace. I'd say it's definitely a fantastic super trainer. There is a great amount of cushion in this shoe. There is a great amount of bounciness in this shoe. At easy paces, for me, the shoe feels like an excellent max cushion option. But the shoe also really loves to pick up the pace. There's a really fun bounciness and springiness to the midsole foam. The new capsule foam in the midsole does add a bit more pop to it, a bit more energy return to it. If you like that real kind of sink and you want the bounce and more dynamic forms, I think the 9 Ultra is definitely a good shoe. And especially because it likes to pick up the pace, like during marathon effort long run. That's where I feel this shoe really shines. It's comfortable to be in for a long period of time, but the foam becomes so lively when you are running faster that it makes long run miles fly by so pleasantly. Definitely a solid workhorse for long runs. When I was moving at my slower pace and doing some heel striking, it was really fun. I felt like when landing on my heel, the air inside the capsule got pushed toward the forefoot, making it feel a little more substantial under my forefoot when pushing off. I really think heel strikers can get more enjoyment out of it. When pushing harder, like at threshold pace, that top layer of foam acts here like a damper, kind of muting some of the capsule's characteristics, making its response not as quick as Fading 6 Elite. It's a more training-friendly foam setup, but still responds enough for most of us average runners. That exposed foam helps save weight, but I'm really worried that, because the exposed area is large, it could easily get punctured. In my last video, when explaining the capsule, I kept using the word theoretically, because Li-Ning hasn't advertised that the capsule locks air in, but I do feel it traps air inside. So I'm worried a puncture would significantly change the ride feeling. The other thing I'd say about this shoe is that it's quite low volume. So you do get a little pressure on your big toe if you got a fat big toe. And with that soft midsole foam, I could see a little bit of collapsing on my left flat foot. I think if you've got stability needs, it's not gonna be absolutely great for you. Before wrapping up this video, I want to compare it to some more well-known shoes to help you better understand the Red Hare 9 Ultra from a ride characteristic standpoint. Now, let's go ahead and rank them. Starting with the shoe weight, Xiaonian is the lightest, and the Pegasus Premium is unsurprisingly the heaviest. For Nike, air unit is always the weight penalty. I bought the Pegasus Premium not only because its precision within Nike lineup is closest to the 9 Ultra in Li-Ning's range, but also because I haven't run in a full-length air zoom unit for a long time. I wanted to know how similar or different Li-Ning Superbone capsule really is to an air zoom unit. The verdict is they are similar. That sensation, that feeling of the air compressing and releasing with your gait cycle is really close. But the Red Hare 9 Ultra feels like it's got 2 layers of that air unit in the midsole. More fun, more plush. The midsole geometry of the Pegasus Premium is a lot flatter. Do you prefer landing on a flat surface or landing on a curved one that rolls you forward? It's kind of like a question about old versus new running shoe design philosophies. And it's a big reason I haven't bought a Pegasus in years. Next, the Evo SL. It's a bit nimbler and lighter compared to the 9 Ultra, and also firmer, which gives it a more responsive ride. I feel the foam in the red Hare is a better impact protector than the Evo SLs, with a more exciting ride. The Evo SL is currently on sale in China, priced about $35 cheaper than the red Hare 9 Ultra. Its real competitor isn't the 9 Ultra anymore. I will save it for the upcoming Anta Zone 2. Now, the real focus, the Asics Megablast. Oh man, how do I even put this? Maybe all those shoe reviews I watched build my expectations too high. My recent runs in it have basically been a process of taking the magic out of it. For me, the Megablast isn't that easy to compress. It felt firmer than expected at slower paces. It's a resilient foam with a fairly firm feel and a little bit of sinking as well. I really need to run fast. The harder I push into the foam, the more it gives back, and the response time is very quick. The Megablast was the original, like the first of this new breed of super trainers. It inspired so many other brands, so I call it the legacy shoe. But for me, it's not a thumbs up, not a thumbs down. I just think it's too expensive to really recommend highly given the right feeling. The red Hare 9 Ultra is a lot easier to live with for me. And I feel like the dynamics of these two shoes are really quite different. Whereas the Megablast is a very quick responding shoe. It compresses quickly and also decompresses quickly. I feel like there is almost a delayed response in the 9 Ultra. If I'm going for a steady long run, but I want to make it a little softer on my body, this is the one I'm gonna take. If I'm gonna do some faster paced intervals within that long run, then the Megablast comes into play. I can see the Megablast being very useful for hill strikers and heavier runners over long distance. As a midfoot striker, the back of the shoe can still feel a bit blocky, and it still feels quite big on foot. If you are looking for a super trainer option that prioritizes comfort a little bit more than responsiveness, I recommend the red Hare 9 Ultra. And also, you can get the bounciness a lot easier than you can get in the Megablast. Finally, let's talk about the Xiaonian and the 9 Ultra. At the price I paid, I could have bought 2 pairs of Xiaonian with the cost of one 9 Ultra. The performance gap definitely isn't double. The Xiaonian is a lightweight, fast training shoe. It's not as cushioned as the 9 Ultra, but combined with its lightness, it makes you naturally want to go faster. If you want a shoe with a more stable platform while still getting that speediness, the Xiaonian is the one to go for. But if you really like pillowy softness, then the 9 Ultra may well be your dream come true, because it's lively, energetic, and super soft. The Xiaonian doesn't feel quite as engaging and fun in the same way, but it's an incredible value for the money. You know, these two shoes are kind of rotation killers, getting rid of all those other shoes you might have in the mix for training and racing a marathon, and I do find they are very versatile. The red Hare 9 Ultra, there is a lot of comfort, but there is also a lot of speed. And because of the fact that using the new capsule foam is just so much fun. It's an excellent road eater that will happily clip along for miles and miles and miles. Okay, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this shoe or tips for improving English speaking. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'll be bringing you more on Chinese running products. Follow if you are interested, and hope you have a good one.